Hi everybody, Jillian here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have something that I'm really excited to share with you. It is the devotional or the Advent Traveler's notebook that I'm going to create with these printables from Brianna Showalter that you can get in the Print Pray shop. And so what I did was I went ahead and printed out all 5 pages of the printables, and it comes like this. It gives you an overview of Advent 2016 and how she broke it down into 4 weeks and gives you some verses and hymns and thoughts and things like that. And then I just printed these out on just plain white cardstock on a commercial copier. And then I went ahead and cut each piece out individually. I cut out 2 of some sheets because I thought that some smaller elements would be fun to repeat throughout my notebook. So what I'm going to be using for this project is just a plain white Traveler's notebook. And if I got this a while ago at Michael's, I don't think they're available anymore, but you could very easily make this with some 8.5 by 11 medium weight white paper and then just staple it in the middle here. Just make sure that you have enough pages to include all 28 days. Then what I did was I went through my stash and I pulled out some acrylic paints that matched the colors of the kit. I pulled out some washi from my stash that also matched the colors of these printables, and then just some basics that I knew I would use, like my ruler date stamp, some journaling pens, some inks. I knew I would use my acrylic block again for any stamping that I might want to do, and then also a card to scrape the paint around. If the devotional kit is not an option for you this month, I would really encourage you guys to check out Brianna's printables in the Print Pray shop. I think this is $7.50. So what I'm going to do is put you on fast forward and then just show you kind of how I decorate my notebook. The first thing I'm going to do is start by decorating the cover. So I'm taking a dark blue paint color here and swiping it all over the page. I had an idea of where I wanted to put the printables before I started painting, so that helped, kind of help me determine where I wanted the paint to go. And then I have a cute little helper over there on the left who's making some color suggestions of his own. So I wanted to not leave the back totally blank, so I put a little bit of that paint on the back there, and I'm going to mimic what I'm doing on the front on the back. So I'm layering those paper pieces over the paint and then adding a lighter color just as a base kind of for these little stars that I'm going to put around these main images on the cover here. And then I'll go ahead and take that lighter color and then just repeat that on the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler date stamp and then stamp the dates November 27th to, I believe, December 25th. I wasn't sure the dates of when this ended, so rolling the dice there. You can see I have day 1 already put in here, and all I did was just put some washi tape down and then layered the printable pieces over that. And then I'm going along and writing the verse that Brianna gives us on that first page that I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. I didn't have to wait long for that paint to dry on the cover because I'm scraping it on with a card. It's a very thin layer of paint and it dries very quickly, so I didn't have to worry about paint getting on my work surface or anything like that. So she does give you verses for each day, and for the ones that I knew what they were talking about, I went ahead and pulled pieces from the bits that I had cut apart and just began making clusters. And I wanted to maybe start with a layer of washi to kind of anchor the die cut piece, and then once I have the cluster created, I like to do things in odd numbers also, so that's why you see 3 things here. I'm taking my journaling pen and I'm writing down the verse that she provides for that day. So you can see that my embellishment is in the top left corner here of the left page, so then I'm going to bring my next embellishment cluster down to the bottom right to kind of balance it out. So here I'm taking some shades of blue acrylic paint, and I apologize that it's out of the frame. I had to do some editing here, and unfortunately the bottom part of the video got cut out because one of my lights was in the foreground of my camera, which you'll see later on. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is just creating a base of paint to layer her scripting over, and then adding the number 3, and then you will see me try and fit this row of Christmas trees in here, and that makes an appearance a few times in these first 3 pages, trying to figure out where to put it. Then I decide to take the thinner of the 2 journaling pens and outline these die cut pieces to provide a little more definition. I wish I had taken the paint all the way across the bottom of the page, but I didn't, and I didn't want to go back, so I just decided to outline it. So just really quick and simple, I'm going to move on to day 4. And I like when these pieces are touching, so I like to layer things and make sure you know, that they make sense. That's kind of how I do clusters. So again, here I'm using some of this pink Illustrated Faith washi tape, and then I'm going to layer the larger piece and then the smaller piece. Now I really liked this row of houses or something, buildings across the bottom, and I wanted to layer them on something also so they weren't hanging out by themselves down there, and I decided to again make these little trees work. So I'm going to layer some of this black washi tape from the List by Faith kit on the bottom of the page, and then put the trees down, and then this little row of buildings. I'm going to do my best to link the products that are still available in the description below if you are interested in picking any of them up that are not from the Advent set from the Print Pray shop. Also, what I did, if I wasn't sure what the verse was about, I went ahead and looked it up in my Bible before I started embellishing. So in that case, I looked up a verse in Luke and then went to the printable pieces and pulled out the die cut that I thought best matched that verse. I'm also using I think it's called the Names of God stamp set here to stamp down the name Jesus, and you'll see that in a moment. But first I'm getting down another layer of paint. So this really provides cohesion in the notebook, and this is another reason why I like doing the foundation pages, so I don't have to think about creating something from scratch every night on this blank white page. I am also just creating this cohesion in my album by having all of these paints out at the same time. So I'm using the same colors, and I'm going to keep these isolated in a little bag or something like that so that they are together throughout the month of December. So here I'm making a little cluster again at the top with a couple more of those stars, and then using some red and white striped washi tape to ground the scripted word Messiah. So the last page here, I'm going back into Luke, and I'm just wanting to familiarize myself with the verse. It talked about waiting up for the master. It's one of Jesus's parables about being ready. So I thought that this lantern would be a really good printable to use, and then I layered that flag or that banner next to it that said Light of the World. I also wanted to use some of the stamps that came from the 'Tis This Season devotional kit from Illustrated Faith and Dayspring, so you'll see me incorporate those stamps into this project also. So I'm stamping at the very bottom of the screen here. I'm so sorry that it's out of frame. I'm stamping some of those stars again, and I wrote down the verse and then realized I had written the wrong verse down. So all I did was move that banner up a little bit, added some washi tape to fix that trapped white space, and then that's it. So pretty easy to correct a mistake. So that's a look at how my notebook is coming together, and then you can see here that I went ahead and started on the 27th and just kind of wrote something kind of in response to my reading Genesis 2, and then I'm about to go ahead and start the second night, and then again just some drawing some lines and journaling on there, and then if I have a ton of space left over at the bottom or something, I may go back and embellish it a little bit more. So here's day 4 and 5 and 6, and then I just quickly did this off camera for day 7, just added some washi tape and then 2 of the printables here, and that's it. So I think that 7 days is going to be a good foundation for me to start, and then maybe I'll do it in blocks through the rest of the Advent season also. And I'll share my progress with you guys on Instagram. If you don't follow me over there, I'm Hello Jilski, same as here on YouTube. And that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more Christmas projects, including Christmas Bible Journal entries coming to my channel throughout the month of December. See you soon.